Man, you know what a pleasure it is for me to be joined right now by a man who is absolutely killing it and has been, I would say, MVP for the Baltimore Orioles since about the midway point of last season. He is Orioles reliever Rico Garcia, and he is with us now here on GCR. Rico, it's Glenn. It's great to meet you. I hope you've gotten word that you've got some massive fans over here. Thank you for taking the time for us.
No, of course. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Rico, can you put into words your journey, right? Like, and places where maybe it hasn't gone as well as you've wanted it to go. What has it meant to you that coming back to Baltimore, and I know it's still a smaller sample size, and I'm sure there's a party that's like, hey man, I want to make sure this keeps going for a little while, but what
hmm
has it meant to you to have found a place where it seems like everything has come together for you the way that it has?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a firm believer in, everything kind of happening for a reason. And I think I would say like every year of my life or of my baseball career so far, I think it's kind of taught me a different lesson. And I think this year it's kind of like came into fruition. I debuted in 19 with the Rockies. Um, And then 2020, I was with the Giants during COVID, up and down. So that one kind of taught me, like, the reliever lifestyle of, like, going up and down, kind of just being on that emotional train of going up. Even if you do good, you can get optioned, whatnot, all that kind of stuff. And then 2020, I came here for Baltimore for a little bit. And then that was also, of going up and down, kind of going through that option phase. And then 23, that was probably my worst year, I would say, in the big leagues, just between the Nationals and the Yankees. So, like, failing that badly in the big leagues definitely taught me, like, how to deal with the extra added pressure of, what if this happens? What if that happens? And I think during that year, I kind of just put too much pressure on myself. Like, oh, if I do bad this game, they're going to option me down again. And then it kind of just stuck with me in that mentality. And then 2024 didn't go to the big leagues at all. I was in Rochester. That's where I learned my slider actually. And then they kind of had that. So I combining like adding the slider and being in the closer role in 2020, I think that added another, how to approach hitters that I never had before. Because before it was just kind of, attack with fastball, and then I had a curveball with a different grip that I didn't even that's different from now. And then the changeup. But then kind of all of that just put together, combined with 2025, I think it kind of just, each year was a stepping stone to kind of develop me into a new pitcher and a new person.
What you're describing, it almost sounds like you're saying that like you had to like take the pressure off of yourself, that right? Like you don't have to worry about they're going to get rid of me. Is it fair to
Yeah.
describe it that way that like you had to learn that whatever the situation is, because we talk about you with the word leverage a lot, but like whatever the situation is, you somehow have to
Mhm.
approach it without feeling the pressure of the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. I had to accept that, you know, it's a business and it's they're going to make the decisions, based on what they feel is best. So it doesn't matter what I think about the outcome. So removing that added pressure kind of just took away all the things that didn't really matter. And then I kind of just started to focus more on, just pitching basically and kind of just accepting that fact, whether I do good or bad, like it's not up to me whether I stay or go. So why even think about it?
We talk a lot about
And
relievers.
just kind of taking off that pressure, I think. Sorry, was that?
No, Rick, we talk a lot about relievers having to be like psychopaths, right? Like having to be intense, nuts, right?
Mhm.
I almost wonder if it's the exact opposite for you. Like you come into a situation where there's a couple of runners on base. Is it that more the way you're describing it, it sounds like it's more like I don't want to feel, I want to feel nothing. I almost want to be numb to that situation, not ramped up to it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a big part of that too is, I'm from Hawaii. So people from Hawaii are usually there's two sides to it. You're either very calm or you're very, very intense emotionally. So there's no in between. And I think also like just being, 30th round, always overlooked, kind of always being the underdog. I think that added more pressure as well, like trying to prove people wrong. Um, but like I said, just taking off that pressure of just not trying to control things that I can't control, I think kind of helped me mentality wise, coming out of the bullpen.
Rico Garcia is with us here on GCR. Rico, do you now find yourself wanting to be in those spots? Like in your heart of hearts, because you've obviously had a few this year where you came in for a clean inning. Do you still prefer that, or is there
Mhm.
almost a part of you that's like, no, man, give me the spot where there's trouble. Like that's who I am. That's where I'm gonna be the difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that competitiveness where you want the ball no matter what. So for me personally, like I'll be ready. I just want the ball. I think that's basically it for me. And when that whatever that situation is, like I'll be ready for it, whether we're up 10, down 10, or bases loaded. It's I kind of try to treat it all the same. And I think for me, that's what works just because I don't want to have a different mindset based on situations kind of thing.
Did you ever like have a thought that this wasn't gonna happen for you, Rico? Did you ever have like a moment where you talk about being in Rochester, right? Like it just might not be it might be over for me. I might not get another chance. Did you go through any of those doubts in the last few years?
I mean, it definitely crept up, each of those years where I was kind of going up and down and not doing great in the big leagues. But I think it really hit last year when I was in Syracuse for the first half of the year. Um, it was kind of like I wasn't doing great. It just didn't feel like there was a lot going for me. And then I told my wife, my family, kind of like, hey, like I don't know how many more years I got in this. I'm a 31-year-old, reliever, blah blah blah. And then kind of just out of nowhere, like things just started slowly clicking. And then that's when I got called up for the Mets.
Hmm.
And then once I got that opportunity, I kind of just ran with it. And then, it was a great year last year in the big leagues.
It was a great year, and it's a start to another great year this year. The other day in Chicago, right? I'm sure you're frustrated. You don't want to walk anybody. I understand that. And being called upon, obviously, in bigger spots now, right? Like,
Mhm.
can you walk me through that moment and just what goes through your mind, how it might be different than it's been in the past when you do face a little bit of adversity? And how you came through and delivered in that spot to close the game out.
For sure. I mean, that was definitely a new feeling for me, I guess, because that was, my first save opportunity. So I didn't really know how to navigate those emotions.
Hmm.
And I think I just kind of put too much pressure on myself just because, okay, this is my first save opportunity. Like, I can't let the fans down. I can't let my teammates down, all that kind of stuff. They put me in the spot because they trusted me. And I kind of had to settle in a little bit. I think I threw 7 straight balls. And then, after that first strike to my draw, I was like, okay, like don't overthink this, just attack them. Attack them with your best stuff and just do what you've been doing. And then it kind of, you know, I kind of found the groove and just stuck with what worked. And that, I mean, that day was my fastball. So I kind of just, kept throwing that and then my changeup to lefties. Just trying not to put extra added pressure on it. But then once I got that final out, it kind of just relieved, all that pressure and just being able to go through that situation. Not only getting the save, but having a shaky ninth, I think has taught me, some lessons of how to navigate through that and, being able to not put that extra pressure, even if it was a new emotion for me. But just being able to go through it and learn from it and go from there.
What did it mean to get like I know look, man, a save is a save. The team has a closer. It's not gonna have to be you next time out. But
Mhm.
what does it mean to know that you can do that. And if something were to happen, I mean, we all know how baseball works, and
Hmm.
if Helsley were to be down for a week or something, what does it mean to like
Hmm.
know you can do that? That can be a role for you for this team if necessary.
Definitely. I mean, and that's the biggest thing that I took out of it, after the outing was like, I don't need to put this extra added pressure. Like I can do this. You know what I mean? So I think it was good to get that first one. It's
Yeah,
the first one's always the hardest, I think, just in anything. And just being able to get that first one means a lot because, I can kind of look back and be like, this is the journey I've been on. And to be able to say that I got a big league save, not many people can say that. So, I take a lot of, pride in that and just be able to use that going forward. Just being like, I have one and I can do this. And, that's just the way that I'll approach it from now on.
that's really cool, man. I'm really happy for you. Rico, are you superstitious at all? Like, do you have any like whether it's superstition or even like traditions when you're in the bullpen or getting ready? Do you have anything that you've done for a while, or
Uh,
maybe even just since you've been in Baltimore?
not very big superstitions, but I think for me, I need like one of those mini bands. It's kind of weird, but like I usually like if check the cameras and all that during the game, I usually have like a mini band wrapped around my knees.
Okay.
Just like from like, the first or second inning, just because like to me, like I just wear it around, walk it around, loosen the hips up, and then, when I take it off and ready to go, like I just feel fresher. And I think that's just it's nothing crazy, but that's something small. Um, but yeah, like if you see me walking around with a mini band wrapped around my legs, like that's probably why.
Okay. That's a good one. What about, are you guys playing any bullpen games this year? Is there anything that you're doing to stay loose?
Um, Not really. We kind of just, talk with the boys, kind of just keep our mind at ease. And then I mean, I'm before the game we do like that, toss the ball closest to the home plate kind of game.
Yeah.
But besides that, no,
Hang on,
not
do you guys keep standings on that game? Do you
yes.
guys? Okay,
Yes.
where is it right now?
I think the leader has like two or three. I have two right now.
Okay, all right, that's
Yeah.
not bad. Is
Yeah.
there like a season long competition? Like, is there a like somebody's got to buy a dinner at the end of the year or something like that?
No, I think it's just like bragging rights.
Ah,
They got a ball with like everyone's name on it, and they got like tally marks. For to show
okay.
how who's got what.
Who's the guy that's struggling most in the closest to the home plate?
I don't know. There's a few guys. There's a lot of guys without any. So
Haven't gotten on the board yet. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. I think eventually though, it's a long season, so someone will get on it. They'll get on at least once.
And then what is the Hawaiian food that no one does in Baltimore and you miss it the most and you need someone to commit to, hey man, I'm killing it. Can you help me out and add it to the menu, please?
Oh, there's so much. I mean, the food there is so different.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because like there's different cultures mixed into Hawaii's like food culture. There's like Japanese influence, Spanish influence, Filipino influence, Hawaiian influence. The Hawaiians have, their own kind of food as well, separate from like local Hawaii food. So it's just if I were to pick one, maybe like it's called. I mean, I would just go with a poke bowl. The poke
Dude.
bowls there are completely different from up here. Up here it's kind of like minced and you don't get as much. But back there it's like almost like a dice. It's like
Okay.
dice. It's bigger pieces and they absolutely load the bowl. They got the toppings on it. Like it's not like crazy toppings here where it's like, green beans, carrots. Like it's just raw onion, some seaweed, and some sauce. And yeah, that's probably what I miss the most.
Man, that sounds good as hell, man. At some point I'm gonna come out and visit or something like that because I want to try
Absolutely,
a legitimate Hawaiian poke bowl. Uh,
absolutely.
Rico, I'll wrap with this. Have you felt like how excited Orioles fans are for you and like how cool this has been and the way that people have connected with you and your story and what this has meant to a lot of people?
Yeah, I think just being so new and not really, I guess, a household name. Um, it's cool to see fans, interact and, when I come in the game, they cheer and it's just nice to, feel noticed. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is just having such a long career, being overlooked, not really, sticking anywhere. It's just a good feeling to be noticed by fans and being like, yeah, like, this may be a guy that may be able to help us, but just being able to be recognized and noticed on the field, I think just adds extra confidence as well.
May it stick forever, man. May that be the case. Rico Garcia, it's so much fun seeing what you're doing, and so happy for you that you are finding this success. And again, may it continue. Appreciate you taking the time for us. Best of luck moving forward. Thank you for hopping on with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Glenn. Appreciate it.